top 5 easy, I wouldn't say easy, but top 5 mods that you can do to your 2014 Dodge Ram 1500 or Ram 1500 5.7 Hemi, same thing. But I have a 2014 Dodge Ram 1500, and I'm going to be sharing with y'all today. Into this video, I'm going to be telling you guys 5 mods that could boost your Ram performance and definitely get it up there. So the first thing first, this is, I say if you got a 6-speed or 8-speed. For me, I have a 2014 8-speed, so pretty much it's like the same thing. 6-speed, 8-speed, kind of like the same itch. But I'm gonna give you guys, this is strictly like my opinion. So it might be different for some people, but for me, I'm just gonna be strictly sharing with you guys like the things that you guys these mods that you could do to your truck, your 5.7 Hemi, and definitely get some torque, increase the horsepower and stuff like that. So the number one I want to talk about is the cold air intake. That's what I want to talk about. So the cold air intake is one of the best upgrade for a 5.7 Hemi. The cold air intake can help improve your engine performance, and also it could give you a Hemi about 30 to like 39 horsepower gain. So which is, for me, honestly, that's pretty good. It's nothing crazy, but that's pretty good. 30 to 39, around that range. So cold air intake, like, to be honest, like any kind of special cold air intake, really, I wouldn't really. It all depends on your preference. It all depends on your preference and stuff like that, what kind of cold air intake brand you want to go with. But to be honest, it really doesn't matter, as long as not no cheap brand or something like that. One of those cheap brand. You don't want to go, when you're doing one thing too, I want to get straight. If you're doing something like this, especially when it comes to performance mods on your truck, you never want to really go like the cheap route. Always try to pay that little extra money, this and that, to get the best parts put on your truck or car, whatever. So that's my number one thing, is the cold air intake. That will be that. This is not in order, so I'm just going off my head. Pretty much the mods that I want to put, that you should put on your truck if you're trying to gain some power and performance, torque, whatever. And then the number 2 thing I want to talk about, number 2 mod that I want to talk about, that you could definitely, this one is definitely a big one that you could definitely do, is to do like a Whipple supercharger. And reason being I'm saying Whipple supercharger is, with me personally, like, you can go 2 different routes. You can either do a Whipple supercharger, or you could do like a turbo kit, whatever. But me personally, I just feel like it all depends on your preference. It's just my preference with the Whipple supercharger, just by hearing that whine. And it definitely could give you about 120 to like 160-ish horsepower, especially if you have, these trucks, I know for a fact, I think the 6-speed and 8-speed, like, they around like the same stock horsepower. It's like 340, 395. And you could definitely increase those numbers if you get a Whipple and install a Whipple. Or turbos, I really don't know much about the turbo kit stuff and stuff like that, but I'm just going strictly off a Whipple. You could definitely gain 120 horsepower to anywhere to like 160. And that's like a huge number right there. If you talking like, this is not, like, that's definitely like a game changer right there. You definitely could gain some real good power and stuff like that. You're definitely going to be able to see like a big difference with your car or truck, whatever. So, and one thing, when I say Whipple, is like, that's another thing too. This is strictly based off, I'm going to keep saying this is strictly based off my preference and also whatever you decide you want to do to your car or truck. So Whipple is a little bit pricey, but to me, I think it's worth that price that you're going to pay for a Whipple. And gaining that kind of number is definitely going to be able to burn some rubber if you definitely install a Whipple in your pickup truck, your 5.7 Ram, or your car, whatever. It's definitely going to give you some great numbers. So the price for those, you could probably get one for around 7K to like 8K. Yes, it is definitely pricey, but it is a Whipple supercharged, so those are not something that's cheap. But I do believe like a turbo kit for these Rams and stuff like that, I believe you could definitely, it's probably like a little bit more cheaper than a Whipple, which could be probably around anywhere. This just my number of heads. I'm not, giving you exact numbers, but it's like anywhere from like 5K, probably like 6,000, probably. I'm not too sure. Could be less, could be more, but I know for a fact they are cheaper than a Whipple though. So that would be my second thing I would like to talk about for the mods. And my third thing I'll say is the exhaust headers. Definitely, these are one of like my favorite mods to do on any car, like not just the 5.7 Hemi part. I am talking about the 5.7 Hemi, and reason being why I said exhaust header, because that could as you just putting like, when I mean exhaust header, I'm talking about, don't go like the cheap route with them. Don't do like the shorty headers or something like that, the short headers, whatever abbreviation, short headers, whatever. If you want that performance, torque, sound, whatever, go with the route of a long tube headers. Long tube headers, you could gain more power, you can gain more torque, and better fuel economy. I definitely believe that. Also can help reduce the engine weight, which could be like a beneficial for performance handling and stuff like that with your car or truck, whatever. And the reason being why I said like the long tube headers too, like everything I just said pretty much, and it definitely could give your car that, or truck, that sound. Like, it is a lot better than shorty headers. If you know, those, if you ever install both on your car before, you'll definitely know like the difference and stuff like that. So those are another things too. That's another thing too. Like I said, that's one of my favorite mods to do, and it definitely helps your car or truck, whatever. It definitely, especially that sound too you get from it. And don't go like the cheap route when you're doing this. Don't try to go the cheap route. Like I say, any kind of parts you like, this is me, honestly. Like I got a 2014 Dodge Ram 1500, and this is like, any parts I want to put on my car, I'm not looking to go the cheap route. Like, I'm trying to, like, you never want to do the cheap route, and especially when it comes to performance and stuff like that, because that definitely could cost you down, cost you later on down the roads and stuff, cost issue, I believe. So these, if you want the best results or best quality of whatever you're trying to get, always try to pay that extra money. If you don't have it, try to save up before you do all these stuff. I'm telling you, it's definitely going to be worth it. And yeah, the exhaust headers is definitely one of my favorite mods to do on my truck. Like, those are one of my favorite mods to definitely do. I definitely tell you that. And then my fourth thing I want to talk about is, this one is strictly based off, I say, you like, it's like number 1, 2, I say. To go on the route of getting like a tune or something like that. Get a tune. And that's something I never did before, so I don't really know too much about it, but I definitely know for a fact this kind of like I kind of relate it to like you doing like a supercharger kit or something like that on your car, because it definitely can help you definitely could gain some power from a tune on your car. You definitely know the difference. And that's just one of them things too. You never want to go the cheap route with it. Don't try to go the cheap route. Definitely number two, what I seen people do too, like, is when they doing like a tune, like on their trucks, whatever car, you definitely want to go to somebody who professional. Don't try to go to somebody who's not really that well known, I'll say. Go to somebody who you know have the experience with doing these like tunes and stuff like that. Because you got to understand too, you pretty much messing with your computer system and PCM, whatever, the ECM, whatever the thing's called. You're definitely effing with that. So if you decide you want to go to whoever you decide you want to go to, and they install some kind of ish on your car that's not really like that, and you end up paying the price for it, it will definitely suck, because I'll be tight about that too. So definitely do your homework. Definitely look at reviews if you go on that route with tune. Like I said, this is something I never did to my truck yet, but I'm definitely planning on doing these things. And I'm just saying, like, the smarter thing for you to do when you trying to, tune your car, do whatever, this and that, mess with the ECM, PCM. And definitely don't try to do it yourself unless you know what you're doing and you have the experience. That's the difference. So that'll be my fourth thing. And I really don't have any kind of specific tune to really say whatever that's best for your Hemi, but I'm just saying, like, a tune would be like one of the best things for your Hemi to gain some power and performance. So my fifth thing I want to talk about is, this one is kind of like on the same thing with the exhaust pretty much. I say you want a nice exhaust system. This kind of related to like the headers and stuff like that. You want a nice exhaust system to put on your Hemi, Ram, or your car, whatever. For me personally, what I personally recommend is the AWE catback exhaust system. Yes, it's not cheap. It's probably run you around like $1,500-$1,600, which is worth it. And I've seen a lot of good reviews about them, and I see a lot of people run those on their trucks, and it sounds good too. And I myself, I'm planning on getting one of those too. Far as from, I don't really like Flowmasters or boiler exhaust, stuff like that, but AWE catback exhaust system is like, that's the way to go. Especially if you want to hear, if you do everything I tell you, if you do everything I just listed that I tell you, and you install like the exhaust on there, especially with those long tube headers on there too, definitely with the Whipple supercharger on there too, it's definitely gonna give you some sound, and you're definitely gonna see like a huge gain of power from your car or truck, whatever. And I know I said 5 things, but one thing I want to add on to, that's something that's not really necessary, but I do that too, because if you want the sound, you want the performance, I say it's definitely to do a cam too. Definitely do a cam on there. So do a cam on there. It's definitely gonna, if you got AWE exhaust system on there too with that cam, you definitely gonna hear, like, you definitely gonna hear like a difference. Like, you definitely gonna hear that Hemi more like rowling and stuff like that. And it's gonna sound real good. So like I said, I just named my top 5 mods: cold air intake, Whipple supercharger, exhaust header, a tune. Pretty much I said you could do cam, you could do you could do those things I just named. Those are all strictly off my preference. I'm not no expert, this and that, to tell you, but at the end of the day, it's whatever you decide you want to do, or whatever mods you decide you want to put on your car, truck, whatever. You can always go ahead and go your route and whatever best for you. But these are just strictly my own personal opinion on what I think and what I think will work best for me. And Let me know what you guys think. Definitely give this video a thumbs up, and definitely help me subscribe to the channel, help the channel. We get in there trying to hit 5K. So definitely subscribe, comment. Peace out.